Sup guys, it's Alex here and welcome to another Bracketology update. This one is for December 3rd and I'm actually making it on time because the last couple of weeks I've made it a couple days late from when Joe Lunardi updates the Bracketology. But we are finally here in December. The calendar has turned to a new month, final month of non-conference basketball. There's going to be some great matchups on the horizon. I am very excited to see what happens here in the near future. Got some great matchups this weekend. We'll talk through some stuff that's happened over the past week, and it's just going to be a lot of fun. As you can probably tell from my voice, I am just so excited for this college basketball season. It's been great to watch the games that have been happening. I mean, even in the NBA last night, we saw the biggest margin of victory in NBA history, 73 points. Somehow the Grizzlies of all teams beat the Thunder by, it was like 152 to 79 or something like that. Absolutely crazy. Got college football conference championships happening this weekend as well. It's just going to be a great time to be a sports fan, if you want to say that. But let's go ahead and take a look here at the bubble watch as we kind of get closer to the bracket reveal. Top overall seed is now Purdue because, I think it was on Tuesday night. I want to say it was either Tuesday or Wednesday. Ohio State upset Duke at home. That fans got to storm the court. That was a huge surprise to me. I did not think that Ohio State was going to win, but props to them. They played a great game. I think they were down by like 15 at one point and somehow came back to win. So great performance by them. Duke had the number one spot in the AP poll for 1 week, number one spot in the bracket for one Bracketology, and now Purdue now takes that top line. First team out is San Diego State. Last team in is Wichita State. So then on the bubble here, last four byes are Oklahoma, who got a huge win over Florida this week. St. Mary's, Louisville, who have been getting some solid wins. I think they're 6-2 or 7-2, something like that. They missed out on a chance for a great quality win against Michigan State. But their non-conference resume, they've gotten wins over Maryland and Mississippi State, so those are solid. And West Virginia on the last four byes. Last four in are Providence, San Francisco, Wichita State, and San Diego State. San Francisco now in the tournament as an at-large team. Man, that team is good. First four out are Utah State, Mississippi State, Maryland, as I mentioned. They are on a steep decline right now. I don't know what's going on with that team. And then St. John's, who I think is playing Villanova tonight. Great chance for a huge win for St. John's there. Then the next four out are Virginia, Oregon, Washington State, and Texas A&M. Man, what a drop for Oregon. They were like a 3 or 4 seed, I think, at the beginning, like the preseason bracketology, and now they've just been getting destroyed in pretty much every game. They are now out of the tournament. So, taking a look here at the actual bracket itself, as you guys know, Purdue is now the number one overall seed in the bracket. I am still trying to decide if I want to go to the Indianapolis regional games. We'll kind of see what happens with that. But then Florida State down to an 8, kind of taking a look here at the movement. Texas Tech down to a 9. Kentucky down to a 4. Weber State new to the field as a 13. I guess they're the automatic qualifier. Wisconsin now up to a 6. That team is starting to put together some quality wins. Then you got the playing game of San Francisco and San Diego State. Arizona also now up to a 3. I don't even know if this team was in the projected tournament. They've basically gone the complete opposite way of Arizona. I think the two teams have even played this year. I may be wrong on that. Don't quote me on that. And then Xavier up to a 7. Colorado State down to a 10. Kansas down to a 2 after that Dayton loss. And then Georgia State down to a 15. Then over there in the East, we have Harvard new to the field as the 16 playing game. Indiana down to a 9. Michigan State up to a 4. That's a team I'm keeping my eye on. They're stringing together some great performances as of late. Memphis down to a 6. Then we have West Virginia down to an 11. Memphis had a bad loss a couple of nights ago. I can't remember off the top of my head who it was to. I'm trying to remember, but it's just, I don't know what's going on with Memphis at this point. We have St. Bonaventure down to a 7. Illinois down to a 10, not doing too well in the post-Iota Sumu days. Then over there in the West, Gonzaga on the 1 line. Then we have Iowa up to an 8. North Carolina up to a 9. Auburn up to a 5. Texas down to a 4. UC Irvine up to a 13. Michigan down to a 6. That team is just kind of falling apart as well. And then the playing game of Providence, who's new to the field, and then Wichita State, who is also new to the field. Tennessee up to a 3. Navy new to the field. Iowa State new to the field, jumping up all the way to a 7. I think it was Iowa State that beat Memphis. Don't quote me on that either. I think it might have been Iowa State. That's why they jumped up so big. St. Mary's up to a 10. And then over there in the South, we have Baylor now taking the place on the 1 line of Kansas. Marquette down to a 9. Ohio State up to a 5, making that big jump after the win over Duke. Loyola Chicago down to a 12. South Dakota State down to a 13. LSU up to a 6. Louisville new to the field as an 11. USC up to a 3. Grand Canyon new to the field as a 14. Oklahoma up to a 10 after that aforementioned Florida win. And then Houston up to the 2 line. So we got through the movement. Now it is time to do the tournament bracket predictions based off this bracketology. If you guys are new to my channel, which I mean most of you guys aren't at this point, got a nice email there from Chipotle. Gonna get some Chipotle probably from lunch. But every time there's a bracketology, I go through my predictions for the NCAA tournament based off of that bracketology, just a way to have fun during the course of the college basketball season. So why not go ahead and get it kicked off here in Microsoft Excel. Purdue obviously is going to beat the winner of Nichols and Texas Southern. Then I think that Texas Tech can get the 9/8 upset of Florida State. Connecticut I think will be able to handle UAB there. I wouldn't expect a surprise. Then we have Kentucky moving on past Weber State. Wisconsin I think will be able to beat the winner of San Francisco and San Diego State. Arizona will be Oakland. Xavier will be Colorado State. And then Kansas will be Georgia State. So no big upsets there in the first round. We do have a 9/8, but if you want to call that an upset. For a spot in the Sweet 16, we have Purdue here moving on past Texas Tech, Kentucky being able to handle Connecticut there. Then we are going to go with Arizona over Wisconsin, and then we are going to go with Kansas over Xavier as well. But then for a spot in the Elite Eight, we are going to have Purdue moving on past Kentucky. As much as I want to pick my Kentucky Wildcats, I don't think I can do it. Then we are going to have Kansas here moving on past Arizona. And then for a spot in the Final Four, the Boilermaker fans are going to be super upset with me. I put them in the national championship game on the last bracketology that I did. But I've been kind of taking a look at it. I think that Kansas may pull off the upset there. Purdue, I mean, I really want to pick them to move on. I mean, it's a great story, great program with Matt Painter there. But I am going to go with 2 seed Kansas taking out the first number 1 seed. I mean, there may be an earlier upset, but just the way that I'm doing it. And then over there in the top right regional, we're obviously going to have the winner of Duke, or the Duke moving on past the winner of Harvard and Norfolk State. Seton Hall moving on past Indiana. Florida moving on past Ohio, and then Michigan State handling Iona. Then I'm going to go with an 11/6 upset here of West Virginia over Memphis. I know I said in the last one that Imani Bates could move Memphis on, but I just don't think Memphis has what it takes. Penny Hardaway doesn't. While he is a fantastic recruiter, one of the best in the nation, he just hasn't proved it as a coach. Then we're going to have Arkansas moving on past Chattanooga. Illinois pulling off the 10/7 over St. Bonaventure, and then Villanova beating Vermont. Then for a spot in the Sweet 16, we're going to have Duke here moving on past Seton Hall. Michigan State moving on past Florida. Then we are going to have Arkansas moving on past West Virginia, along with Villanova past Illinois. Then for a spot in the Elite Eight at this point, we are going to go, I really want to pick Michigan State to upset Duke. Why not have fun with it? We're in December. Why not have 4 seed Michigan State upset Duke there, another Big Ten team beating Duke? That's going to be, no, it was Kansas and Michigan State that played in the Champions Classic. That would be a fantastic matchup there. Why not have some fun and go with an upset pick of Michigan State over Duke to get onto the Elite Eight? Then Arkansas, I think, can beat Villanova, which sets up a 4-3 in the Elite Eight, and we are going to go with Michigan State moving on to the Final Four out of that regional. So then moving on to the bottom right, we have Gonzaga beating Wagner. North Carolina, I think, can pull off the 9/8 over Iowa. Then we're going to have Auburn beating Belmont. Texas beating UC Irvine. Then we're going to go with the winner of Providence and Wichita State beating Michigan until they can prove that they can beat a quality opponent. Then Tennessee is going to beat Navy. Iowa State can beat St. Mary's, and then UCLA will beat Liberty. Then for a spot in the Sweet 16, we got Gonzaga moving on past North Carolina. If I can click the right arrow, there we go. Texas, I think, can beat Auburn. I really like Texas this year. And then we are going to go with Tennessee moving on past the winner of Providence and Wichita State. Then UCLA moving on past Iowa State. Then we're going to have Gonzaga setting up the inevitable rematch there. Round 3 of Gonzaga versus UCLA. The two teams have split so far. Gonzaga won both of them because Gonzaga had that crazy half-court buzzer beater, and then they destroyed UCLA in the regular season this year. I am going to go with the team that's won the 2 games so far, with Gonzaga sadly moving on to the Final Four. Actually, I don't know why I said sadly. Just want to see a little bit of an upset there maybe. Then the final region here, we're having Baylor moving on past James Madison. Marquette as the 9 beating Virginia Tech. Ohio State here moving on past Loyola Chicago. Alabama beating South Dakota State. Then we're going to go with another 11/6 upset with Louisville over LSU. USC beating Grand Canyon. Oklahoma in another 10/7 over BYU, who just lost to Utah Valley of all teams. Don't know what happened there. Then Houston will beat Campbell. Then for a spot in the Sweet 16, we're going to go with a 9/1 upset. You guys know I like Marquette. Haven't seen Baylor really play too much, so that's kind of on me for that pick. But I'm going to have some fun with it. Go with a 9/1 with Marquette over Baylor. Then Ohio State will beat Alabama. Then we are going to go with USC beating Louisville and then Houston beating Oklahoma. Then for a spot in the Elite Eight, we are going to have Ohio State. Crazy as a 5 seed with my history with picking Ohio State. We're having them going on to the Elite Eight here, and then they will face Houston. And then for a spot in the Final Four, why not have the hot team? It's probably just reactionary and all that, but why not have some fun with it? Why not have 5 seed Ohio State? The Ohio State fans in the comments section can finally show up here. Kansas versus Ohio State for a spot in the national championship game. I am going to have to go with Kansas here. Moving on, and they will face the winner, Michigan State and Gonzaga, which obviously I think will have to be Gonzaga, which sets up a pretty good national championship game here of Kansas and Gonzaga. Gonzaga had a little bit of struggle to beat Tarleton this past week, so I am going to go with Kansas winning the national championship. I know they just lost to Dayton, kind of weird to have a national champion who just lost in their most recent game, but that's just the way the bracket shook out. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Leave your own comments and predictions, or leave your own thoughts and predictions in the comments section below. Let me know what you guys thought of my predictions as well, and just general thoughts about college basketball. I love reading through them. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you all later.